Hey everybody, my name's Carl Kaiser. I'm the inbound manager here at Integris. Today we are joined by the wonderful Dawn Monroe from Dawn Monroe Learning. And we are going to go over creative AI tools that are available for everyone to use. So without that, I'm going to pass it off to Dawn. I'm stumbling all over myself here because I'm so excited. And we'll get started.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm Dawn Monroe. And yes, Carl, we are going to get a creative kickstart with artificial intelligence tools. I'm so glad you all are here today. We've been hearing so much about AI, and I just wanted to kind of break this down, not too techy, and just get into it and have some fun and encourage you to get in and play with these tools and see what you think. So, as you said, without further ado, let's get started. There we go. Got him talking now. So, I want to take you back a little bit. Maybe you're going to remember this. Do you recall that sound? I bet you do. Many of us started years ago dialing in to get our internet. If you're a young'un, you might not have had to do that, but that's what we had to do back in the day when we were trying to get our internet signal. We dialed in every time, and we had to play that tone. And so I might have triggered a few of you. Hey, here is a sample of some of the things that I personally have been through, and I just want to take you back a little bit. Why I'm doing this to start this conversation is that we have already been through a lot of technology changes. So we've got more coming, but hang on tight. This is actually me. This is in a classroom I taught in 1994. I worked for a little mom and pop computer company, and I want to point out I had no overhead projector. I was describing how to use Lotus 123 and WordPerfect, describing it, and then walking around the room and see if people got it. I did have a whiteboard. So then in the next year, I moved and I ended up at a large training operation. This is me. I'm really going crazy here. I had two of those overhead projectors where you laid the plastic sleeve on it. Oh, yeah. And so one was the instructions and one was a picture of the screen that I could draw on. And I still had my whiteboard. And look at the size of those monitors. Now we carry around that little device in our pockets, right? Transparencies. Thanks, Steve. Okay, so I wanted to take you back here because a lot of you have been through that with me. Doesn't the technology feel like it's just rushing at you very fast right now? That's what I feel like it's really coming fast. And I'm grappling all over trying to keep track. I teach a lot of different software products. And how am I going to keep this separate, right? Trying to understand all of it. And I get it. And AI is really the next big thing that we're seeing with our technology. So AI is artificial intelligence. And the reason we're hearing so much about it now is that recently these large language models were released out, opened up, so that developers can create using those in their own software designs. So what we're seeing now is a big boom of products that are coming out with AI tools built in using those language models. So I kind of boiled down a definition. Of course, I played with AI as I was doing this, but this is really something that I decided on, I landed on this for myself, that it's computers trying to act like humans using language. And so when you're already using it, I bet you ask Siri to turn on your favorite music, or to all kinds of things you ask Siri and Alexa to do around the house, or things like that. You use autocorrect. Sometimes you don't love it, but those are tools that have been building with these large language models. Someone brought up yesterday, I saw a program, someone brought up the old Furby toy that would try to learn from you. I'm going to have to find myself a Furby. So I think that'll be a good prop for future AI classes. But anyway, what we're going to do today is just kind of break this down. I want you to think about how you might use AI tools. Maybe nothing too fancy to start with, but maybe you get writer's block. Maybe you could use help creating a difficult email, or preparing for a big fundraising event and you're not sure where to start. That's why I say, let's get a creative kickstart. What can we ask of these AI tools and get some real information back that will help us work more efficiently, more productively, and faster? Okay, so I'm actually going to tour you through different tools. I hope you don't mind. I'm going to open things up and we're going to do some real world testing. So get your prompt ideas ready. I may use a few from the crowd today. Okay, so this is a list of things that I wrote down. Just brainstorming ideas. I work alone. I'm a solopreneur. So I'm not having that water cooler chat. Maybe I want some help brainstorming something that I'm stuck on. Writing those difficult emails, or preparing for a conversation, talking to an employee about something that could be perceived negatively. What do I need to think about? And I've written down just a whole lot of ideas here. There's so much that you could do that we have access to in these language sets, and so many different tools coming out that we can try them. And we'll get deeper into these. We'll sample. You'll get to see it in action. I've boiled it down to this. Really, I thought AI for the longest time was just for people that wrote code. Maybe you did too. It's not just for software engineers. Yes, you can use AI tools to write code or try to understand code. I'm talking about like website code, building programs and things like that. But it can help with writing text. It can help create images. You can create videos by giving a text prompt, or you can ask it to take a video and break it down into smaller chunks, maybe give you a transcription of that video. And you can even create audio. There's so many possibilities here. Today, what I'm really going to concentrate on are the text kind of features and the text kind of tools, because I think that's a great place for you to start. And once you get more comfortable, you can dive in deeper on these other things. Okay, so are we doing good so far? I'm glancing at the chat, but my friends backstage are going to help me. If you have something I need to know, they'll help me pick it out. Okay, so let's introduce some of the products. There is a very popular product called ChatGPT. It has a free level. You can just enter in an email address and create a password, and you have access to ChatGPT and the OpenAI software. It also has a paid version where you can get the more recent, up-to-date stuff And you also have some security with that. We've really got to discuss security when we're using AI products. And I'll dig into this a little bit more, but when you are putting information into a product like ChatGPT, it is learning from you. So you have to be careful about what kind of information you put in it, because you don't want to accidentally share private information. For instance, what if you put in all the financial data and ask for a summary of the financials for the year? You've just shared financial data out into the world. Be careful, friends. Be careful. We'll get more into that. So that's one product we're going to look at today, ChatGPT. And again, I'll demo it live. Google had another product. They called it Bard. And if you had the workspace, they had the Duet, but they rebranded all of that. Of course, I recently had this ready for a program and they rebranded. I had to do the whole program, redo it to Gemini. But Gemini is the Google product. So you could use this and it's the same kind of product. Basically, with these products, if you've not used it at all yet, you'll just type in a question, or we call it a prompt, and then it will start to interact with you via a response. And you can chat and respond back and forth and ask these products to dig in deeper, give more detail, be more casual or more formal. Really, really fun. I can't wait to show you. Another product is called Microsoft's Copilot. And this is one we're seeing in the browsers first. And you could get access to these in the browsers. I'm showing here what it looks like in Microsoft Edge on the left. And in Google Chrome, you can also get to it. It'll have a little pop-up, a sidebar on the right. So you'll see Copilot showing up there. But you are also going to see Copilot coming into all of the different Microsoft programs. I'm going to play a little video. This is going to be about the Copilot for Windows 11. We'll see what you think of it.
It's a renegade anthem, shout out proudly. Rising up, we come together, yeah, taking center stage. It's her time, yeah, time for her to shine, she be on her way. Rising up, we come together, yeah, taking center stage. It's her time, yeah, time for her to shine, she be on her way. Watch the guy just go, 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 stand up, let's go, 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 take over like go, 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 rise up, let's go, 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 rising up, we come together, yeah, taking center stage, let's go, she on her way, take over like go, 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 rise up, let's go.
Wowza. What do you think of that one, friends? So this is the Windows, that one that I just showed you that video. That is Copilot in Windows. So that one you should be able to use for free in your Windows account. Now, what I'm going to show you now is the Copilot that you're going to see only if your company decides to purchase the upgraded AI features with your 365 kind of account. I think you're going to like this. Okay, so you see those kind of things are coming. Now that last video, that is an upgrade. That is a Microsoft Copilot being utilized in your 365 account, and your company may or may not decide to upgrade into that level of service. Okay, so and someone I noticed on the chat, yeah, I have a handout for all of this, my friend. So you can get the handout. They can send my handout with the recording link. We're also recording, but the that Copilot built into the programs. I paid for it. I'm trying it out. I'm testing it to learn it. But this is what it looks like when you are in Word. You can actually like click on it and ask it to help you write something right from within the program. The Google Gemini also has that paid version in the workspace, and theirs is the same kind of thing. You can write right in your Google Docs. Yeah, scary impressive. That's probably a good thing, a good descriptor. So your company will probably be making some decisions and policies about how AI is going to be used and what tools you'll be able to use in your workplace. Right now, there's just a lot of loosey-goosey as we figure it out. But that's the kind of thing that's coming down the pike. That's coming. And someone mentioned in the chat private versus public. So I mentioned security, and I'll keep harping on this as we talk about these tools. When you buy the advanced, the pro levels of these kind of products, what it's going to give you is a more secure environment so that you can actually interact with your files, with your meetings, and work on things within your business environment. That's why I'm expecting companies to really start developing some policies around this. So far, probably not so much. So don't be surprised if organizations are dragging a little bit on adopting these, because they're really not sure what's going to happen with them. Okay, So here we go. I'm going to go into, I want to know, are there any Canva lovers out there? Put a shout out in the chat. Canva is a very popular design program, and in their pro account, you actually can create all kinds of things. It has some text generation, but it also has some photo editing tools and photo creation tools, will help you build presentations. And I want to play you one more video just because it's so darn cool. Okay, you've seen some of the big tools out there now. I'm going to walk you into using those. It really is going to depend on which tool you decide to use, what kind of needs you have, and then how you build the prompts. The prompts are the questions that kick off these conversations in these products. And I think you're going to be amazed. If you haven't seen it at all yet, prepare to be amazed. It happens so fast. But here's the thing. These softwares that we've been using for years are already adding in some AI kind of tools for us. So my first suggestion would be, if you get access to some of those new updates that include an AI feature in a program you already use, go ahead and give it a try. I mean, that's the lowest point of entry, right? Just giving it a try. It's in something you already use. So, considerations. We definitely want to think about privacy. I'm going to tell you a couple of cautionary tales. So, I have a journalist friend, and she was talking about a friend that wrote an article and put a copy of the article, just copy paste, into one of these AI tools and asked it to improve the writing. That's something you might do, right? You maybe write something and you ask it, can you help me make this sound better? And what happened was they didn't publish their article right away. Well, basically, they fed that article into ChatGPT. Somebody else asked a similar question and was able to basically snag most content out of that article and publish it before the original writer. So I don't know how often that kind of stuff has happened, but be careful. think about if you are in an HR department and you've got a job opening, and let's say you got a bunch of resumes. Well, one thing I would not do, I would not copy and paste someone's resume in and say, does this person fit the job description? Because you're putting their personal data into the product. You don't want to do that. So what I'm suggesting today is you start with projects where you're just asking it to give you some ideas. As a first layer of safety, you're not sharing a bunch of personal information about yourself or your company. Now, as you start using these, maybe you're going to develop some goals. Like maybe a goal is, I want to spend less time writing out course descriptions for my workshops. So could I use ChatGPT or Microsoft Copilot, one of these tools, to improve my course descriptions for my workshops? So that might be a goal for me. Or maybe I really struggle writing emails and I just want to use the AI tools to make better emails. I think I'm going to do a whole session just on that. Thinking also about your compatibility. What tools do you already use? If you're already a Canva user, then go look into what they've added in their magic design tools. Okay. You also want something accurate. I have heard some horror stories about people getting false data. Did you hear the one about the attorney? Like I'm starting a joke that had cited some court cases that they got from ChatGPT that were not real cases. Okay. Oh, I'm looking up. I just happened to catch this in the corner of my eye. Matt is sharing that used AI to write stories to read to my child, rocking them to sleep. Oh, that's so sweet. Add your child as a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy. That's so fun. That's a nice one. I haven't heard that one before. Great idea. I also want to point out your organization, like I said, is going to be developing policies. If you are not sure what you can use and not use, I want you to ask your organization. I want you to ask the people that need to be thinking about and creating policies. Your questions will help them develop a policy. And did you know that just like restaurants and businesses have cultures and things, we're learning that these tools may have a bias. Some definitely have a bias. So if you have issues that are of utmost importance to you, I would ask a few questions and see where your AI product takes you on a certain kind of topic. And I'll let you figure that out for yourself. Okay, so yes, I love, as you are putting questions in here, I also would love comments. Those of you that have been playing with it, put in the comments a way that you used AI that was awesome and that you really loved what you got out of it. Now, I'm going to talk about now the prompt, and we're going to spend plenty of time playing. Don't worry about that. But when you are creating a prompt, the prompt is the question kickoff area. You're going to want to be very specific about what you're asking. Give it some context, maybe create a persona around it. Don't assume that it understands what you're saying. It may help you personally to kind of have a structure to the way you ask a prompt. You could, there's a lot of websites and things now that are sharing prompt ideas, and you could go and look at some of those to kind of build a structure for yourself. And several of the tools are allowing you a place to put in a little bit about yourself so that it knows you and it can understand a little bit about you, so that when it responds, it can address it in your persona. For instance, for mine, I put in that I am a computer software trainer and, you know, what certification I have and what kind of things I do, so that when I ask about creating a course, it already kind of has the gist of what I do. Now, I'm going to show you some things. These are some real things. So I was working with a client and he said, Dawn, I asked ChatGPT, will you help me build this formula function in Excel? And it gave this really kind of layered, nested function that was pretty complicated. He wasn't sure exactly what it was doing. And he asked me, could I simplify it? Well, probably right when he asked for this, he should have asked ChatGPT, can you simplify it? So I put that aside. I didn't even look too deep at it. I just looked at what he had going on and I built one, and mine on the bottom does what that one does. So there sometimes it gets overly complex. Be on the lookout and ask it to simplify things for you. Now this one is good for a chuckle. Okay, a realtor friend put in a prompt. She wanted a picture, a family buying a house, and we see that the hubby there is getting a little frisky, maybe with the realtor. The hands and the faces are all distorted. It's just very messy. They're getting better and better with these tools, but don't be surprised if you see some bad ones out there. And a lot of the programs allow you to give feedback and say, no, that was terrible. So use the feedback tools when you see some good and bad. Yeah, all kinds of problems. All kinds of problems in there. Okay, so I'm going to jump over and I'm going to jump into the programs. Let me pull these up. Hang on, finding my mouse there. All right, so I'm going to pull this one in first. Let's start with ChatGPT. And I'm going to start, I've got a list of ideas here. So I'm going to start with a couple. I'm copying one that I've got ready. So here, and let me just tour you around a little bit. I am using the free version of ChatGPT. Over on the left side, there's a little sidebar. Up at the top, that's where you click and you start a brand new chat. That's where I'm at now, in a new chat. And it keeps records of ones that I have looked at in the past. It's got all those so I can jump back to them or delete them if I need to get rid of them. Down here is where it allows me to upgrade if you wanted to see what that looks like on ChatGPT. So with the plus and the higher level accounts, then you get the latest and greatest. Okay. Also down here in my little profile, here's where I can customize my ChatGPT, and here's where I gave it a little information about myself so that when I'm asking it questions, it can respond to me in a way that makes sense. Okay, so I'm putting in my first prompt here for you. It's got a place there at the bottom, and it's giving me some ideas if I need to. But I'm going to just create a job description for an executive assistant to the president, and I hit go or click that little arrow there, and here it goes. My friends, if you are just seeing this for the first time, it is really this fast all the time. I'm serious. It is very, very quick, and that's a pretty good place to start. So if you needed to do something like that, that is a super fast way to get started. Now, this isn't going to be exact. You're going to have to go in and take care of this and make it your own and make it fit your company. Now down here at the bottom, you can read it, you can copy it, you can regenerate it, or you could give it a thumbs down as a bad one. Okay, let's say, can you create a job post for this position? Do you see how I'm chatting with it? I'm going to interact and keep the conversation going. Okay. Can you create a short Facebook post that says we have this job opening? You with me? So just for kicks, why don't I take that same prompt that I used here? Would you like to see it compared on the other products? I thought you might, so that's what I'm getting ready to do. Okay, let me bring up, this is the Copilot. The Copilot. Now, I'm noticing on the Copilot, it's got a work option, and this is connecting to my Microsoft 365 account. So that's why that's showing up. I paid for that service, so it can get access like to my calendar and different things. Or I'm getting onto the web version there, and I'm going to just click here in the bottom and paste in that same prompt that I just used. Okay, they just upgraded some things. Okay, so I'm getting a different vibe on this one. And you'll notice that it is linking me to some internet sources as well. Let's jump back up to the top on it. Executive assistant to the president, and it's giving some duties. So it's different. It's got a different vibe to it. Let's pull up Gemini's and let's see what Gemini does. Okay, this is Google's Gemini. I had to pay for so much software for you all. There you go. I'm going to do the same prompt in here just so you can see just different versions of it, similar. Okay. If these are your first peeks into this, I'm curious. Put your thoughts about this in the chat. I'd love to know. Okay, hang on. I lost my meeting. I'm finding you. I have so many windows open. There we go. There we go. Yes. Okay. So let's go try several different prompts. I'll just play around with these. If you have a prompt on idea, and this is probably a good time for me to just check in with my folks backstage. Are there some important questions we want to discuss right now as I'm queuing this up?
There are a few here. I think that you answered some of them. Regarding Copilot, only available for online MS products.
Mhm.
Let's see a good one.
So there should be a Copilot showing up in your Windows account that you'd be able to use. That, in my understanding, is going to be a free option. You may already start to see that. I don't think it's because I paid for that. I think it's showing up in Windows 11.
Okay. So here's one from Jennifer Walker. She asked it just now, and we thought that this was a good one. Of all the AI tools that you've been working with, which is your favorite?
So far, I think that the ChatGPT is the most comprehensive responses for me.
Okay.
But I'm still learning and experimenting with all of them. But I do seem to circle back to that one more than the others.
Okay. And we have a question here from Terry Ramondi. When is your next Canva training session?
Well, I'll send you the link for the calendar. We'll figure that one out.
Sounds good.
All the time. Yeah, we'll get you that, Terry.
So for right now, I think those are the questions that we can get into. If you want to go back to this,
Okay. Did
great.
anybody put any fun prompts out there that they would like me to consider? I'm going to pull up another one and pop it in there so we can get some ideas. I'm going to do a new chat and I'm going to pop in there. Help me develop a plan for our annual fundraising event for our nonprofit organization. Now, that's a pretty generic prompt. So to make that more effective, I could add, it will be a Western theme, and our organization supports the fight against Alzheimer's. I picked something difficult to spell. Okay, it's helping me. Good, thank goodness. Alzheimer's disease. Okay, so I'm giving it a little more context there. Let's go ahead and click that. And let's see. Goals and budget, date and venue, marketing plan, sponsor, donation. Okay. If I was doing this, just sitting down with that blank page in front of me, that would have taken me a long time to come up with that kind of thing, right? Wow, that was fast. Let me put, what kind of games would be fun in this theme? Horseshoe toss, lasso, cow chip toss. Yeah, okay. So you pick up what I'm putting down, right? You and look, I'm not feeding it very much. I'm giving very general information from my side, and I'm asking it to provide things for me. Let's do one. Create a list of social media content items. Posts. Let's do post. Post about the overwhelming nature of technology and AI from my computer training business. Let's see what it says. Okay, so it's suggesting, okay, that one, use a graphic, prepare an infographic, use the video, tip of the day, run a poll. These are great. I need to keep this one. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I'm looking. So many to start. Daily routine. So Mike, I see your question about using AI for employees, tools for daily routines, calendar scheduling. So that's why I would suggest looking at the tools you already use. Like you already used maybe Outlook for a calendar. So it would make sense to see what kind of tools are coming out that talk to Outlook and that interact and integrate with the product you already use. That's what makes sense to me. There's going to be all kinds of things rolling out because once that the AI got released into the wild and all these developers started making and creating and adding things, then we've got a lot of tools and apps to choose from. Okay, so start with something you already use. yeah, creating images, you can do that. You can ask it for images. You can, in some of these, you can load up images and ask for things like that. Let me pull one up. I know that I demoed that before. Let's do the Gemini. So let's start a new chat. And you notice all of these products are suggesting things to get you started. If you have not used it much before, it's giving you some ideas. Can you create a picture of a cat sitting at a computer wearing a hat? Let's see if we get something. Now, for the graphics and things, I have been most frequently using Canva, but hey, looky here. What's your vibe? And so you see these are coming up and they have little download options by them. And so you could, let's generate a few more just for kicks. Oh, it wants a new prompt. It didn't want to do anymore. It offered more and then it didn't want to do more. But yeah, for those, a lot of times I'm going to a graphic design program like Canva or whatever you like to use. They're all rolling out tools. So try the program you already use and see how it builds. Just how to email the AI response to staff members. Okay, so if you are getting an AI response and you like it and you want to use it, so what you could do if you're just using the free products, so let me jump over. Let's get to, okay, so here's the ChatGPT one that I just did. So let's say we'd like that. We want to use that. So I'll use the copy tool at the bottom of it. Thanks for asking, by the way. And then let me open up Word or whatever tool you might want. You could email it. I'll just use Word. And then I'll paste it in place. So that's the response that I just got from ChatGPT. It's just dropped it in here, and now I could email it. I could have copied that to an email as well. For those of you that are looking next level, I mean, I want to keep most of this what you can do for free, but if you're looking at the integration at the next level, here is the Copilot showing up in my actual Word. And so when I come in now that I've bought the product, then I can click that tool and the Copilot is there ready for me to go from that point right in the document. And you'll see that right in your Outlook if you were to have access to that paid version at some point in time. I think you'll get it. I think it just may take a while for companies to decide that they're ready for it. Because just like, take you back, the dial-up internet, all the changes we've seen when you first got a cell phone and how life-altering that was. I think we're going to just continue to see a build of these different changes. Okay. You don't see the ability to copy. So you could either select it and copy and paste, or look for a tool that has a copy button. Let me show you from the different products. So look how many I've got open. Let me find, there's Copilot. So on Copilot, at the bottom of this one, there's a like, a dislike. There's the copy button there. There's also an export and there's a read aloud. Okay, copy and paste works fine. If you are doing let me find the Gemini again. There's Gemini. Let's go back to one of our chats. See, there's a hamburger there. You can, technical term, the menu, you can go back. And there I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of this one just to see what our responses look like. So there's a good, a bad. In the Gemini, it gave a little filter kind of option where you could say, make it shorter, make it longer, make it simpler, more casual, more professional. It's also giving a share and export option there. Because this is a Google product, it's ready to go straight to Docs or straight to Gmail. So if you're a Google user, Google Workspace in your organization, it's more likely that you're going to see the Gemini tool being rolled out in your organization versus the Copilot. There's also a share. Let's see what it does there. Oh, creating a link to it. There you go. You can also, if you're worried about it, you can double check response. You might have seen on the ChatGPT, it has a place to ask for a citation. And I do think we need to be citing work. Let's talk a second about students. The truth of the matter is that students are going to use these tools. So I've spoken at several education events with educators over the last year or two, specifically about AI tools, and they're having to come up with creative ways that they incorporate the use of AI, because there's no denying it, they are going to use it. Just like once you figure out how you're going to get access to it, you're probably going to want to use it because it's going to simplify things that you've been spending a lot of time on. So the kinds of things that I like to hear teachers talking about is how to make a prompt that that really gets the best data out, how to use the AI tools ethically. Okay. The cats. Okay, yeah. Yes, Jennifer, just send me an invite. I'll be there for you. So, okay. Does anybody have some other prompts? Let me pull some up. I'll keep doing some as you all think of questions. I'm loving the questions. Are there any other questions you're seeing out there, Carl and crew, that I need to address?
Not so far. We've got a lot of people in here that are answering others' questions.
Oh, that's
which is
wonderful.
super helpful.
Okay.
There was something from Jeff Eshelman earlier about onboarding new team members and how AI could help. And what
Yeah,
examples have you
okay.
seen regarding that?
Yeah, let me do that one next. I just popped one in. I need to prepare for a difficult conversation with an employee about arriving late to work. Any suggestions? Let's see what it gives us. Gather info, choose right time and place, stay calm and professional, listen, set expectations, document. I like that. There's so many things. I mean, if I'm worrying and need a little help preparing for something difficult, a difficult email, a difficult conversation, this is just going to give me some great ideas to kind of calm me as I go into that. I can be a little better prepared thinking about it. I love the idea of onboarding. And you know what? I was thinking about it is intern time of year. So let's do a prompt about interns. What can I do to prepare to onboard 10 summer college interns at my company? Let's see what ideas they have for onboarding the interns. goals, expectations, prepare the workplace, assign mentors, training sessions, create feedback mechanism. It had a lot of great ideas there. What could we do special at an intern welcome event? Welcome kits. Oh, I love that. Icebreakers, interactive workshops, meet and greet with leaders, tours, a welcome speech. I was speaking, I did this program for a group locally yesterday for finance managers in government. And we asked about writing speeches, setting up or creating a draft of a policy that we're considering, and how to present a budget. What does get citation mean? Lovely question. Thank you for asking. So a citation, if you maybe remember from school, at some point, let's do it again so you can see it. When you wrote big papers, you had to cite where you got your work from. Okay, who remembers the Dewey Decimal System and go into the card catalog with me? Another trigger for you. So we used to have to look those up manually when you used a book or found an article. And then digitally, the last few years, we did a citation. You could get a citation digitally, and even Word will help you with citations. You can put in the book and the author and all that stuff. Now you can say, okay, I did get this from ChatGPT, and you could copy. This is where you got the information from. So it's citing where you got your source. I did take you in the time machine. Yes, for sure. Okay, other questions in here. Really small line at the bottom of the essay. Okay, interesting. So Heather's sharing that someone would put a little description of the prompt used when they're preparing something like an essay, keeping it kind of low key, not very visible, but maybe that they could share with the teacher. I think educators really they're the first line of dealing with this, because students right away adopted. MJ Rose is asking about the spreadsheets and presentations. You know, I've just been starting to play with these tools. In the Google Sheets, I just presented on Gemini last week. So Google Sheets allowed me, it would set up a new spreadsheet. If I say, hey, I need a marketing plan on such and such, it actually would draft up a sample sheet with all the columns and some sample data ready to fill in. And Excel is doing the same kind of thing, where I can tell it what I'm trying to build, or that I want to analyze the data, and it is right away helping with that. Let me see. I'm going to open up Excel. Let's see if it behaves live. It's live technical training, folks. Anything could happen. Hang on. And I see the time. We'll be wrapping up here and go with some questions here. So this is the paid version. I paid for Copilot in here. Turn on autosave. Now it only wants to do this. Integris sample. Okay. I got to store it in the cloud to get this to work. Okay. Got to put it in the cloud, my friends. Okay, so that's going into my OneDrive. So yes, what I need over here is this try an example. Let's get the mouse. The mouse is on the other screen. Here it comes. Try an example. Come on. Okay, there's my... Okay, I saw it. It was close. Let's see if enter will do it. No. Sometimes I lose my mouse a little bit. Okay, so there it is. There. Okay. I clicked try an example. So it made me a data set. And then I can see where it's prompting over there and it will show data insights, show a suggestion for a formula. Let me just do the show data insights. So this is sample data. I could really ask anything in there. And I showed you earlier a sample formula. So it takes it a second, but it actually, I did this and it created a chart last time I tried it. Okay. There it does. So it brought in a little chart over there and I can add it to a sheet. I'm giving up on that because the mouse is no good, but that's a sample of the kind of things we're going to start seeing in there. Okay, I'm going to bounce back out. I'm going to jump back over to PowerPoint. Let's make sure that we've talked about everything, and I'll just hang out and answer any more questions if you have them. So, Susan, I'm seeing your question there about you're new to AI. Can AI help tag photos so they're easier when you have thousands of them? I think so. I think we're going to be seeing tools that will help you with that. Love the question. Great idea. So for all of you on the call today, these are my generalized tips for everybody in business that's trying to play with AI and figure it out. So from what you've seen today, how could AI help you with something that you're already doing, but it takes you a while? So if you're coming up with an idea now, you could share it in the chat because I'm sure your idea sparks somebody else's idea. So I always love that. So what is it that you need? For me, writing those descriptions and those kind of things, that's something I could use help with. And then as you are using products you already use right now, what are they rolling out that is incorporating AI where you could just jump on the bus and start playing with those tools? Experiment around and then decide what's working for you and then start using it in your daily or weekly. And to be most efficient, kind of batching it so that you're in there. Like, let's say you need to do the social media and you need to make a bunch of posts. You ask it all at once. You create all that and then work on that at one time and get a bunch of stuff ready at once. Okay, I say thank you to my wonderful friends at Integris. Of course, they can help you with so many of your IT needs. And don't forget that they offered this program to you today. And be sure and thank them if you have a connection there at Integris. Let them know that. Okay, so I'm hanging out. What kind of questions? And writing grants, I love it. Lesson plans, social media content, book studies, yes. Oh, travel itineraries, I've done it. I was visiting Chicago. I was going to an area I hadn't been to before. I asked what kind of fun things I could do in that area and got a whole list. And then I asked it for a packing list based on the weather. Automating audits. Okay, so I think those tools you're going to see, if you use a system some kind of CRM or some kind of system that's integrating some kind of management system that your company uses, you're going to see AI pieces rolling out into those that are going to simplify your regular tasks. Yes, you can make slides in PowerPoint. We're going to see taking the outline and creating the slide off of it, or taking the PowerPoint and creating a text summary. You can do this right now easily in Canva. If you have the Canva Pro account, you can type in the magic design, what kind of presentation you want, and it'll build you one with several options you can choose from. It's really amazing. Definitely marketing tools. Oh, good. I'm loving all your nice comments. I thank you as well. Medical information. Yeah, you know what? I was asking it recently. I've seen all those chair exercises and things like that recently come up on social media, and I thought, okay, well, I'll get a list of different exercises. Okay, it does give a caveat, not a doctor. Those kind of things. Yeah, I've heard about people putting in like a shopping list and going from that. So yeah, I think yes, Susan, can AI help create a website? For sure, because you could do prompts for images, you could do prompts for the actual text on a web page, you could describe what the web page is going to contain, and you could ask for text for that. And many of the softwares that make web pages are starting to integrate AI tools where you can ask that integrated AI tool what to do, what to type, what to create. Okay. Yeah, I have a great handout with links to more resources on these things. So yes, we'll be getting that out. They've got it, and they can share it with the recording.
Yep. We can definitely do that. We're also going to be sending out a thank you survey. So if people could fill that out, I'm going to put it here in the chat for now, and you can grab it out of there. I'll show it on the screen as well. That will be coming out shortly. You'll also be getting a copy of the recording after the fact, so you can go back through it. And I think that this has been absolutely wonderful. You hit it out of the park again, Dawn. You're batting
I'm trying
1,000.
to, Carl. There's a lot coming at me.
Well, there is, and I mean, one of the things about everything that we've seen, especially regarding artificial intelligence, by this time next week, it might be completely different. So keep your ears to the ground and be prepared. Dawn has said a few times, think about what you're feeding it before you do so. Somebody mentioned in here not that long ago about having it create spreadsheets. Well, if everything you put into ChatGPT, unless it's the paid version, is getting dumped into a collective bucket, that might not be what you want to do. So we're also going to be doing a blog coming up, I think next week, that we'll send out to everybody that was here today that talks about some best practices. So
Wonderful. And check with your company. It's going to be very important that individual organizations come up with some strong policies around this. But it's still early, my friends. We're on the cutting edge of what's happening right now. So just keep your ears open and your eyes wide as you discover what you can do with these tools.
absolutely. So, well, with that, I think we're going to end the stream, and I want to thank everybody for spending their Friday early afternoon with us. Take care, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.